Good morning, everybody. It's Norma here, ready to start your Wednesday morning slow flow. So if you've arrived, please get yourself settled onto your mat. Just a reminder that what we're going to do this morning is just an offering. Remember to practice at your own level. Take rests when you need them or you want them. Take sips of water, and let's enjoy the next 45 minutes that you've carved out for yourself. So we're going to begin on our backs today. No extra props needed this morning, but if you want to have a pillow or a blanket for your Shavasana, you can gather that up. So beginning on your back, taking up as much room as possible. Your feet can be open, letting your toes fall to the edges of your mat. You may want to tuck your shoulders under, opening up that heart a little bit. Your arms can be by your sides, or they can even go into cactus arms if that feels comfortable. Remember to honor your body this morning. So taking these first few breaths to get into that comfortable position, allowing any thoughts that you may have brought to your mat to let go. And know that anything that you may want to pick up after class will be there for you. So taking these next few breaths to arrive and settle and just be. Let's take an inhale together. Exhale, sigh, let it all go. Can you soften even more? As you begin to settle and soften, can you relax your jaw, soften your eyes, let your shoulders fall, softening away from your ears. Feel how your mat is cradling your shoulders, making that connection to Mama Earth. Know that you're held and protected here. Permission to feel all the feels when you're on your mat. This is where you can be your true self, safely held. Bringing your awareness to your breath now, as you just observe how you're feeling this morning. Taking a scan of your body, just awareness, never judgment. And maybe sending the breath into those areas that might be calling for tension, and seeing if you can soften it with your breath. Remember, if anything comes up that you want to let go, inhale through your mouth, and exhale, sigh, let it all go. Transitioning now to a breath that enters your nose and exits your nose. Just with that small constriction at the back of your throat. Kind of like you're snoring or breathing underwater. And if your mind begins to wander through class, just acknowledge that thought that might have come into your mind. Just awareness, no judgment again. And then bring your attention back to your breath and continue on. creating small movements into your body as we rotate our ankles and our wrists, letting the light come into your eyes as we stretch with a long stretch, arms overhead, maybe pointing your toes before bringing your knees into your chest and maybe coming up and giving yourself a wee hug. Thanking yourself for carving out this time to be on your mat this morning. Letting your shoulders soften back to the mat. We take our feet up to the ceiling. And hands can be by your side or maybe just underneath your sit bones, giving you a little bit more support. Let's just pump our feet from here, stepping on the gas or the clutch. Slowly warming up our body. With a big generous bend to your knee, can you reach through the windows of your eye for your expression of happy baby? So you may hold on to your ankles, your pant leg. Maybe you reach into the inner aspect of your feet. Big generous bend to your knees. Maybe rock your baby from side to side, giving a little massage to your back. Slow and steady today, not a rush in the world. Bringing stillness now back into your body as you hug your knees back into your chest one more time before rolling over to one side or the other and pushing yourself up to your tabletop position. So setting that good foundation to start, stacking shoulders on top of elbows, on top of wrists, having the eyes of our elbows face forward, fingers are splayed out wide, toes can be tucked or flat on the mat. Let's travel through some cat-cows. Dropping your belly, lifting your gaze, stretching your tail long behind you, your cow. And exhaling, belly button to spine, curling up like that scary Halloween cat, opening each vertebrae. And traveling through 3 more of those at your own breath, with your own rhythm. Linking your breath with your movement. And offering any authentic movement that your body may be craving as we flow through these beginning postures. When that's feeling complete, coming back to a neutral spine, shifting our weight, making sure that our shoulders are stacked on top of our wrists, and maybe tucking your toes here if they're not tucked. Can we gently bring our knees up just to hover, creating some fire in our belly, activating our core, and coming back down, maybe going back into a stretch, into a child's pose to reset. And coming back, so you'll know we'll do that again. So inhaling to prepare, exhaling, lifting your knees up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting the knees come down, stretching back again. Back to center, one more time. Inhaling to prepare, exhaling, leave your knees up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, pushing up into your downward facing dog. Good job, guys. So I thought we'd activate our core a little bit today. So you may find some extra time that we're holding our plank today. Again, it's just an invitation. So what does your dog need this morning, our first inversion? Maybe bend generously into your left knee as you invite your right heel to the ground. And switching. Once again, bending generously into the left knee, inviting right ankle down to the heel to the floor. And switch, bending generously into your right knee, inviting the left heel now down to the floor. And remembering it's just an invitation to lower your heels. Your heels may never reach the mat, and that's okay. Honor your body. Bring back to center. Can we come high on our tippy toes, bending generously into our knees and lengthening, pouring back into your dog, seeing that length that you created with that adjustment. Bending generously into your knees, once again, looking forward and walking, jumping, or stepping to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, all the way up. Bringing hands into your heart center. Do this again. Inhaling. Exhaling, bringing all that into your heart. One more time. Inhaling. This time, swan diving all the way down. Swan dive down. Inhale, flat back to lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into our first chaturanga. So high or low plank. Always an option to lower to your knees. Slowly lowering yourself all the way down. Let's take our hands off our mat. Their shoulder, at our forehead now, off the mat. Fingers are tented. Then we inhale. It's a little cobra to start. And exhaling forward back to the mat. Do this again. Inhaling. And exhaling. One more time. Inhaling. And exhaling. Taking our hands back underneath our shoulders, tucking our toes, pushing up through our down dog. Always an option to travel to table on your way there. 3 breaths here to reset. Maybe offering a cleansing breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling, sigh, letting it all go. Let's travel through that one more time. Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A, as we hope for some sunshine at the end of this snowy, wintry day. Bending your knees, looking to the top of your mat and traveling there, however you travel. Inhale and flat back. Exhale, forward fold, all the way in before rising up. Right away, bowing over your soft knees as you lengthen. Planting your hands, step back, and rinse it out with your chaturanga. High or low plank. You know the dance steps. And we're going to meet in downward facing dog. So we're going to do a few more flows today, vinyasas. Always an option to skip the flow if that's not serving you. Meeting in the down dog is your home base, or always an option to go in child's pose. Beautiful, guys. Can you invite your right leg up behind you, 3-legged dog, looking forward, stepping or helping your right foot to the top of the mat. And let's bring our left knee down. So low crescent lunge. Option 2, pad up your mat if you have any issues with your knees. Let's bend generously into that right knee. Maybe you need to even scoot your left knee back a little bit as we come up into this low crescent lunge. Beautiful, guys. Taking our hands down to the mat, inviting our right heel forward like you're stepping on the gas. Can you inhale and exhale, soften, pouring your heart over your right knee. Slowly coming up, dragging your right heel, letting your foot lay flat on the mat again. Taking our left hand underneath our left shoulder. Can you twist open to a low twist here? Heart opening to the right side of your mat. Letting your right hand come down, framing your right foot, taking right knee to meet left, and let's just wag our tail out. Transferring to second side. Let's just pop up into downward facing dog as it's a little easier to swing your foot forward from down dog. So inhaling your left foot up behind you, stepping your left foot or helping your left foot to the top of your mat. Taking your right knee down this time, maybe patting up your knee if you're having issues with your right knee, knowing that one side can be completely different than the other. Scooching your right knee if you want to feel a little deeper in this stretch, fitting generously into your left knee, making sure hips are square and you can still see the toes of your left foot. Taking your hands up, and maybe your gaze follows. Low crescent lunge. Allowing your hands come down to the mat. This time stepping your left heel forward like you're stepping on the clutch. I missed my standard car yesterday driving in the first snowfall. So once again, inhaling to lengthen before exhaling, pouring your heart over your left knee this time. Still a micro bend to that left knee to protect your knee here. Coming back up to center, dragging your left heel back, stepping into your left foot as you plant your right hand down underneath your right shoulder and twist open, lunge twist, low lunge twist on second side. Letting your left hand come down to meet right. Popping our right knee up this time. Stepping left foot to meet right. And let's rinse it out with your vinyasa. So high or low plank. Shining your heart forward as we're warming up. And meeting in downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Take your right leg up behind you. Curling forward, can you touch your right knee to right elbow? Inhaling, 3-legged dog. Curling in, right knee to nose. 3-legged dog. Coming forward in your plank, now taking your right knee to left elbow or as close as it can get, crossing your body. Before a 3-legged dog once again, before looking forward and stepping your right foot to the top of your mat. Taking hands to your hips to set in. Let's open our left foot and rise up into warrior two. A little warming in our core there. Flipping your right hand, can you reach it up and back to exalted warrior? Breathing back to warrior two. One more time, inhaling, flowing through, back to warrior two. Taking our hands to our hip, taking our right foot, now that we're at the short end, like your feet are like number 11s. Hands are on your hips here before inhaling, exhaling, folding all the way in to a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, folding in. We're walking our hands over to whatever is accessible on your right leg. So it could be your calf or your ankle, maybe your foot is accessible. Before opening your heart open, another twist. Beautiful, guys. Coming back in, hands back to center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, folding in again before walking over to our left side of the mat now. So hands on your calf or your ankle, maybe your foot's acceptable. And twisting your left arm open and your heart pours open to your left side of your mat. Letting our hands come down, pivoting on our left toes first, so we're facing the back of our mat, leaving our right foot where it is, rising up into warrior two. So just doing a half mandala this morning, changing things up a little bit, facing an opposite direction. I have this plant in my way. That's a little fun. So where can you soften in this warrior pose? Feeling that nice strength in your legs. Gaze over your left middle finger. Flipping your left palm this time, reach it up and back to exalted warrior. Breathing back, warrior two, once again, inhaling. Coming back to warrior two as we take our hands back to our hips, pivoting our left foot now that it's facing forward again. And let's just make sure our feet are shoulder distance apart and turning your toes out, that they're just on a 45. Can we seesaw into our hips from side to side? Oh no, she's going to goddess squat. So scissoring down, making sure you're long in your spine, right from your pelvic bowl to your head. And find where you can settle here in your goddess squat. Maybe hands are in prayer. Maybe hands are here in goddess arms. Jazzy hands, as we say sometimes in yoga class. Where can you settle here and surrender? Firing up that belly, working on your core. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting your legs go. Maybe shake them off. Good job, guys. Before taking right foot forward, left foot is following it. Hips are now forward, back to the front of your mat. Taking your hands down, stepping right foot to meet right foot to meet left, sorry. I got mixed up in the mandala. And flowing through your chaturanga. job, guys. Let's come down on our knees, back in child's pose for 10 breaths. Maybe get a drink of water if you need a sip. Settling here, allowing breath to enter the back of your body, the back of your heart. Finding stillness and surrendering here. Thanking yourself for hanging in as we tried new things this morning. When you're ready, pushing yourself up to downward facing dog. So remember when our child's pose that we didn't do the knee to elbow series as we mandala to the back of our net mat. So we want to feel balanced and complete. Maybe some of you wish that I didn't remember, but let's do that before we settle down onto our mat. So inhaling your left leg up behind you. Coming forward, taking left knee to left elbow. Back to your three-legged dog. Coming forward, curling belly button, spine, trying to kiss your knee as close as you can go. Three-legged dog. And taking your left knee right across your body, trying to touch your right elbow before coming back to a three-legged dog. Taking left foot to meet right, and let's just wag our tail to reset. So we're going to go down onto our bellies. So for anyone who, let's do this together. Let's come forward into our high plank. Option to come down in your arms. And let's hold this, making sure that your bum's not, your tail's not up in the air. Can we hold this for 15, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job, guys. Letting knees come down and going back into your child's pose. Alrighty, now this feels complete. Coming all the way down to your bellies. Okay. So just sitting here in our Sphinx pose, just to set for a moment. So our shoulders are stacked on top of our elbows. Hands are forward, just like in tabletop. Fingers are out wide. Lengthening our tail long behind us. Gaze is neutral, not overextending your neck. Beautiful, guys. Letting your forehead come to the mat. Our hands are by our ears. Just taking a moment to settle here as we prepare for locust pose. So just like we were doing earlier, breathing our chest and our forehead up off the mat. Can we leave our feet on the floor as we gently breathe our heart and our forehead up. Maybe your hands come up and hover off the mat. And letting that go. One more time, inhaling. Maybe your hands come up a little higher off the mat. Feeling that fire in your belly as you lengthen your tail long behind you. Chest and shoulders are lifted. And exhaling, letting it all come down. One more time. This time, if it's in your practice, maybe you can lengthen your legs long off the mat. So once again, inhaling. Let's let a cleansing breath go. Let it all go. Last time, inhaling, rising up. Your expression of your locust pose. Maybe your feet come off the mat as well. Or maybe you lengthen your arms long behind you in Superman. Don't hold your breath. Beautiful, guys. Wherever you are, letting it all come down. Taking your right ear to mat. Going back to center. And letting your left ear come to the mat. Going back to center. Can we extend our right arm like a T out to the side? Taking your left fingers, tenting them up underneath your shoulder. Bending at your left knee. Pushing yourself up, pouring over to the left side of your mat for extended wing. So allowing your head to be soft on the mat. Feeling that stretch in your right shoulder. And you settle here for 5 more breaths. Gently letting yourself come back to the mat. Taking hands back to your sides of your mat just to resettle. And maybe just rotating your neck from side to side, massaging out your forehead on the mat. So before preparing for second side. So this time your left arm is long like a T. Coming up on your right tented fingers by your shoulder. Bending at the right knee as you breathe up like locust, but stepping your right foot all the way back. And letting your head soften. And maybe walking your fingers up if you want to go deeper into your shoulder here in the stretch. But just to your expression. Don't force anything. Can you soften here for 5 more breaths? Gently letting yourself come back to center, taking hands back to your shoulder and forehead once again to the mat, and just maybe gently rotate your head from side to side, just massaging out your forehead. Nice drop back. Coming back through Sphinx pose. So shoulders are stacked on top of our elbows, just checking our time here. Just want to do one more stretch before we come back down onto our backs. So can you take your left arm like a T in front of you, bending at your right knee. Can you reach back and find what's ever accessible? It may be your ankle, or maybe the inside of your foot, or maybe you just offer your hand and foot in space there. Gently taking your right foot towards your tail as we settle here into half bow pose. Not forcing anything. And that nice stretch. So it's kind of like a dancer's pose, but you're laying on your belly. Nice, guys. Gently letting your foot go. Taking right hand to meet left and transferring to the second side. Maybe just wagging your tail from side to side as before we get there to reset. This time, right arm comes across like a T in front of you, bending at your left knee. Can you reach back for your left foot, or maybe your ankle or your pant leg? Gently taking the inside of your foot and inviting it towards your tail as we settle here for 5 breaths. Nice job, guys. Gently letting your left foot go, taking left hand to meet right. And let's just push ourselves back into a child's pose. Reset. For anybody who's wanting to rinse it out with more vinyasa, option to go there. What will make your practice complete for you today? And when you're ready, we're gonna find ourselves traveling down to our backs on our mat. Taking our feet wide, toes can be off the edges of your mat, hands are like a T, and gently offer some windshield wipers back and forth. The next time your knees fall to the right, you can leave them there. If you want to get deeper into the stretch, you can hook your right knee across your left knee. Gaze can be over your left shoulder, or eyes can be softened. Breathing our knees back up, letting right foot meet left, making sure that your toes are pointed out before resuming your windshield wipers from side to side. Slow and steady, no rush in the world. As we slowly transition into the final movements of our practice, letting your knees fall to the left, hooking left foot over right knee if you want to get deeper into the stretch, and offering your gaze over your right shoulder now. Breathing breath into any area that may be calling for attention. Once again, just awareness. One side may be completely different than the other. Before breathing our knees back to center, and just offer windshield wiper a couple times each side just to reset before bringing your knees back into your chest and letting your feet rise up, coming back to where we started with our happy baby. So maybe something's a little bit more accessible now. How do you want to express this happy baby here? as we prepare to our final Shavasana pose. Just making any awareness to changes in your body that your practice may have brought. Your toes are a little bit closer. Maybe the back of your legs feel a little bit more free. Letting that go, taking knees briefly into your chest before taking feet up, just where we started. Legs up the wall, pumping your feet a few times before shaking them out. Letting anything that might have pulled to your extremities coming back down, be flushed out. Bringing knees back into chest, raising up, give yourself a little hug. Great job, guys. Before coming down into your Shavasana, stretching your feet out long, just like we started. Allowing your arms to open to the sides, letting armpits bent. Tucking your shoulders under if you want to open up your heart a wee bit. Always an option to take feet together, one hand to heart, one hand to belly at our reclined cobbler's pose. How would you like to stay for your Shavasana for this last few minutes of rest? Knowing that when the time is right, the sound of my voice will bring you back. Trust each step. Stay present for each step of your journey. We don't go from one place to another in a gigantic leap. We get there in increments while going through each feeling, feeling all the feels, each belief, each experience, one step at a time. Stay present for each step of your journey. Slowly bringing awareness back into your body. Maybe letting the light enter by opening and closing your eyes. Inviting smooth movements into your wrists and your ankles before offering a long stretch. Hugging knees into the chest and rolling over to one side or the other, whichever is calling you. Maybe just staying in fetal position just for a moment. Enjoying this last little bit of your time. And when you're ready, pushing yourself up to a seat. Taking hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Eyes can be lowered, or eyes can be closed, whatever feels comfortable to you. Taking this moment to thank yourself for carving out this time. Trying some new postures that we haven't done in a bit. Telling yourself to keep with your breath. Coming on this journey with us all this morning. It has been my honor to lead you in your practice. Know that the love and the light in my heart bows to the love and the light in your heart. Namaste. Have beautiful days, guys. Enjoy your journey today. Hope it's safe journeys. The roads will be a little bit better on the way home if you're at work today. If not, enjoy wherever you are, and we will see each other again next Wednesday. Thanks for coming.